Welcome back to Check This Book Out podcast, everybody. I'm
Hello.
Madeline Bookout, individual with lilapsophobia.
And I'm Hannah Bookout, someone who only reads biographies of Force 2. And this is the Check This Book Out podcast, where we talk romance and fantasy books.
Do you not want to know what that means?
No, I do, but I was trying to finish our intro.
Wait, you actually know what that means?
No, I don't.
Oh,
Please, pray tell.
It means fear of hurricanes.
Oh.
Or-
Really? You're afraid of them?
I mean, yeah. Are you not?
No. I love natural disasters.
I mean, I do too, but not hurricanes. I like tornadoes.
I like tornadoes too, but like my limit is tsunamis. I can't do tsunamis.
Oh, that literally
Yeah.
makes me so anxious,
When
even
I-
thinking about
Yeah.
them.
Yeah.
I should change mine. Fear of tsunamis.
What was it?
Lilapsophobia.
Lilapsophobia?
Okay. Seismophobia. Wait, that's fear of earthquakes. Thalassophobia is fear of the ocean. Oh,
Yeah.
dude, that's actually my biggest fear is
Yeah.
deep sea.
Don't get me started. Yeah.
Mm-mm.
No.
Like those videos of,
Yeah.
yeah, you know
No.
exactly. Mm-mm.
Yeah, no. That one time we went deep sea fishing, no, like I was actually terrified.
Yeah, that scares the shit out of
Yeah.
me. But do you ever see those videos in like the north, like the seas in the north, and it's like raining and the ships are literally like,
Yes. Yes.
that makes me want to just expire.
There was a video I saw recently where it was like a cruise where they were in that type of situation where like people were falling over
Oh my gosh.
because the waves were so rocky.
You could never catch me on a cruise, I don't think.
No, yeah.
For that
same.
very reason.
No, I'm definitely scared of oh my gosh, those stories of like people falling overboard on like cruises. And that one kid that went missing and they never found him.
Mm-hmm. That's terrifying.
Hell no. And
Well,
that submarine that imploded, hell no.
The fact that we haven't even discovered more than like 5% of the ocean.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
It's terrifying.
There are dinosaurs down there still, probably.
Yeah, there are.
I don't know. Anyways, welcome back. Today we're covering Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry,
Mhm.
which came out, I don't know, several weeks ago. About a month ago.
I think like it was
the end of April.
Like April
Yeah.
20-something.
Yeah, so we've taken our time and we're going to be going into characters and the relationship, overall plot, like themes throughout the book, what we liked, what we didn't like, just our classic bookish deep dive.
Yep.
So, everybody, grab your purple water bottles.
Yes.
And
your phobias.
And find your comfy reading chair and your deep sea phobia. And let's check this book out.
Yes.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Okay, so as per usual, we should start with our ratings.
We shall.
Okay. 3, 2, 1,
4.
3.5. That shocks me.
Okay, really and truly, it was like a 3.75, but
Okay.
I rounded up on Goodreads, so
I also think like a 3.75 is probably more accurate. And
Yeah.
I'll tell you what, right now, I think I've come around on like decimal ratings.
yeah.
I used to think that was stupid.
Sometimes it just feels so
It
much
feels
more
right,
accurate.
yeah. I'm even a fan of the 2.25, and that used to make me really unhappy.
I never used a 0.25.
But I think that if I had to actually give a true, like what I feel good about in my heart is a 3.75.
Yeah. Like if this was a scale of like 0 to 10, I would say maybe like I don't know, a 6.5.
That would be a 3.25 then.
Okay, 7.
Okay, so 3.5.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what I'm feeling.
I fall in between the 3.5 and a 4 for
Yeah.
sure. Definitely not a full solid 4 though.
Yeah. It's just there's things I really loved about this book, and then things that I'm like,
Could have done without it.
yeah, like, well, I was just like, I wasn't a fan
of those specific things.
Yeah, like it just didn't do anything for me.
Yeah, you didn't get anything out of it.
Yeah.
I'm with you. I feel the exact same way.
Yeah.
Um,
that's good. I feel like we haven't been on the same
I
page
know.
about books recently.
It's been a while.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think that my initial reaction was that it's personally not like anything I've ever read before.
I agree.
And I know that I've seen a lot of reviews that are like, this is just another version of like Seven Husbands of Evelyn Hugo.
I've seen that too.
But to me, because I've never read that, it felt really unique.
Yeah.
So I'd liked that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's kind of like high level, like, or a very brief how I felt about it.
Yeah. For those of you who haven't read this book, it's basically a journalist and then a biographer chase down the same biography that they want to write, and they basically have to kind of interview with this celebrity that like disappeared, and she wants to tell her story.
She's been in hiding.
Yeah, she's been in hiding, and over the month that they are kind of trialing to see who will write the book, they fall in love.
It's in like the middle of nowhere, Georgia or something, right?
Yeah.
In like this very touristy town.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Little Crescent, Georgia.
Was that what it was?
Yeah. I'll be so honest, I didn't realize this until like 80, like maybe even 90% of the book. Like, you know that little cafe she would go to, Little Croissant? It was like a play on words of like Little Crescent, Little Croissant.
Didn't even come close to crossing my mind. So
yeah, for real. I realized that belatedly, but
that's kind of cool.
That was cute.
That's fun.
I feel like Emery. I feel like Emily Henry does sound like all her books. Like she has like a little like quirky of the town. Pun. Yeah.
Wait. Do we know what the crossover is?
Crossover.
You know how usually her other characters show up, like it's very small mention of.
Oh.
Huh. I don't know.
Maybe we can look it up after.
I'm gonna look it up now, and then you can just cut it. Great Big Beautiful Life crossover. Yeah, maybe I'll look it up later. It won't take me too long. Yeah.
I don't know if there was one.
I bet there was, but it was probably very minor. Wasn't Daphne from Georgia?
Was she?
Yeah, she was from the East Coast. It was like North Carolina. I don't know. Who knows? It probably doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
If we're being honest.
But yeah. We're headed into spoiler territory now, so if you haven't read the book,
go read it.
See ya. And then come back.
Make your way back to us.
Yeah.
Starting off with characters, shall we?
Let's shall.
Is that what you said?
I did. It's late, bro.
It is late.
It's past my bedtime, I'm gonna be honest.
I have also very tired.
That night shift got to me.
Yeah.
Like the past 3 days I've been sleeping like 12 hours.
Jeez.
Yeah.
I had a flight that was delayed and I didn't even get home until 4 a.m. last night. So I got like 3 hours of sleep.
Oh, bro.
I'm going to sleep so well tonight, I hope. Okay. Shall we talk about our two main characters?
Yes. Let's start with Alice Scott.
First of all, I'll say I didn't like her name.
Me neither.
I'm not a fan of the name Alice.
Me neither.
But
there's too much sound.
Yes.
Alice Scott. Like Alice Scott. Yeah, I don't know.
I also think I was spoiled because I loved the name Daphne in the last book. I just thought that was really cute. But that's not important at all.
You're not naming any of your plants Alice.
No, I certainly am not. I liked her.
Yeah.
I think she was very like bubbly and just like one of those always had a smile on their face even when it was fake, which I think
Mhm.
added depth to her character.
Mhm.
And I think that that's what made her interview process like so fun, organic, natural, like genuine.
Mhm.
So I really liked that part of her personality.
Yeah.
That was like my first impression of her. I was like, "Oh, she's like one of those."
Mhm.
And I thought that she had like a obsession with pink or was it just that she liked really cute clothes?
She they described her as like some kind of like Nickelodeon like 90s like
That's what it was.
yeah.
Yeah.
Which I thought was
I
fun.
thought that's fun too. Like vintage,
Yeah.
retro.
Mhm.
I think that's cute.
Like she always wears a skirt. Yeah.
Mhm.
I liked her a lot too. She was so different from like Emily Henry's other characters too.
Yeah, like compare her to Nora, for
Yeah.
example.
Oh, I wait. Is that Book
Book lovers,
Lovers?
yeah.
Yeah. Well, all of our other characters are like actively going through something really shitty. So they're kind of like in their depression era. But like she just like Alice just had like
Built up.
built up like kind of like childhood
Yeah, trauma.
yeah,
Built
like
up trauma.
yeah. And so it wasn't anything like
Not
active.
actualized.
So like
Yeah.
she genuinely was just like such a bubbly, happy
Uh-huh.
character,
Yeah,
which I thought was fun.
I did too.
Yeah. It
Yeah.
wasn't like any of her other books.
This is so bad, but what was his name again?
Hayden.
Hayden, thank you. I liked his name.
Me too.
I like the name Hayden.
Yeah.
Uh, I thought it was really interesting that he was like a dick for 5 seconds, you know? Like I couldn't tell if she was trying to make it like an enemies to lovers
Oh, where
or
he was just kind of
yeah,
standoffish in
he's
the
kind of
beginning.
like a jerk for 5 minutes and then
Yeah, warmed
all of a
up to
sudden,
her.
yeah. And then he was like, "Oh, let's be friends."
He was like, "Yeah, let's go to the cafe and
Yeah,
go to this diner."
yeah.
Yeah.
He like warmed up to her super fast. I
Yeah.
thought that was an interesting dynamic of their relationship.
I mean, I have something to say about that.
Oh. Do you want to talk about Hayden in general first, or do you want to go ahead and get into the relationship?
I can talk about Hayden in general first, and then I'll say
Okay,
what I was gonna say. Hayden, I overall liked his character.
I did
I'll
too.
say, I I kind of forgot about the part where he kind of was like standoffish in the beginning and like moody.
Yeah,
I liked there was a quote that Emily Henry used I really loved. It was like this was the kind of like crush where it's like you know he likes you back and like that
uh-huh.
kind of bubbly feeling, not just like you have a crush on somebody but
It's
like
not unrequited, but
yeah, you
know
know he likes you back. I was like, that's so
that's really
sweet. Like
sweet.
you could tell that
Mm-hmm.
Hayden liked her back throughout it, and
Mm-hmm.
I liked that version of him.
I'm gonna go ahead and get into the relationship because
Yeah,
okay,
yeah,
I usually don't like an insta love. Like if you remember Say You Remember Me, I was like, I didn't like the insta
yeah.
love. And I know that they kind of had that tension, frustration in the beginning, but it was a little bit
Oh yeah.
insta lovey. Like it
Oh,
definitely
this
was.
was definitely
And
an
I
insta
loved
love.
it. I
Really?
kind of liked it.
Wow, I did not.
Oh,
That was one of my.
I thought that like they quickly got over their, you know, mm. and then
Like
they were like, "Wait, actually like I like you and I think that you're cute and like I have a crush on you. I have a crinkle." Like they had a crinkle and I like crinkles.
what's a crinkle?
It's like right before a crush.
A crinkle? I've never heard that.
I'm pretty sure some friends in high school came up, or not high school, in college came up with it, but I don't remember who.
That's so funny.
Like
I love that.
it was a
A
crinkle,
crinkle.
like in a very fast crinkle, and then as they got to know each other more, like it was a crush.
Yeah. See, my issue with it was I loved that Alice kind of like had that build up of like, oh, I'm starting to like him, and like, oh, he's starting to like me. I loved the buildup of it, but they also kept saying like, we don't know each other, and I'm like, yeah, y'all don't.
Mm-hmm.
What do y'all know about each other? How is this gonna work? You know when people are like, book couples, I think are gonna get divorced. I would say
Oh
them.
no,
Yeah, sorry. I know the book ends with them literally like married and having a baby, but I'm like, I don't know. I didn't think that they knew each other. other than like this isolated situation of what their mothers were like and this lady, Margaret.
I feel the exact opposite. I felt like they started to be like so vulnerability. I feel like they started to be so vulnerable with each other early on. Like they were asking each other all these questions, and like after they decided, hey, let's be friends, it was like, okay, let's actually get to know each other. Like she talked about her family stuff and like her dad passing, um and he talked about, like, for example, how he would go walk around the neighborhood when he was feeling anxious. Like, I
Yeah.
thought they actually shared deep stuff, even if it wasn't like, I know your favorite color, I know your favorite food. Like,
Yeah.
they knew the deep things about each other.
Yeah, that's true. I don't know.
I mean,
It
it was
just
fast. It was like a
yeah.
month.
It just felt too insta love for me.
I liked the way that it was done. I think I even wrote it down, or like took a note that said, I think that this was fast vulnerability done well. But
Yeah.
apparently we don't agree.
I will say, I think what did this book a disservice was the fact that like their screen time was literally cut in half.
That's really
And
fair.
so we did not get 300 pages of their love story. We only got 150. You know what I mean? So I think that did a big disservice.
That's actually a really good point. I didn't think about it from that perspective. I didn't look into that too deeply. I mean, they're not my favorite Emily Henry couple, probably for that reason. Like you're saying that you didn't feel like you got to know them that much because they didn't get to know each other that much.
Yeah.
It's crazy. That's actually, you're describing exactly how I felt about Say You'll Remember Me.
Really?
Which is kind of a similar thing. Like a huge plot point was her family and like her mom struggling with dementia. So that was like,
it took away
from them. I feel that's very interesting that we kind of feel flip-flopped in that regard.
It is.
Maybe I just liked this couple better.
Yeah. Maybe.
Interesting.
I definitely still liked their characters a lot. I liked their relationship and all like the second half of the book where they would spend like so much time together at like, working at like the diners and like spending time at her rental house. Like I always thought like that was all precious and cute. But I was like, y'all don't even know each other. And then they would say it. And I'm like, yeah.
Like they would acknowledge it.
Yeah, they would say like we barely know each other. I'm like, yeah, you're right. I don't know.
I liked the crinkle. I liked the crush.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I don't know. I think sometimes you fall hard fast. And I think that the way that they did, even if it, sometimes a month to fall in love with somebody isn't actually that unrealistic. Like sometimes that just happens really fast.
Yeah.
And they were spending every moment with each other. There was, that was one thing that's kind of getting into like side characters. Oh, no, it's their relationship. In Emily Henry's other books, usually there's like, I would say several like side characters, or there's definitely like other relationships to focus on. For example, Daphne's friend in the prior book. And like we had that with Margaret, but like the townspeople, aside from Cecil, like it was really just like Margaret and them, and that was it.
Yeah.
So I think that that's why I felt a little bit more connected to them, was because there wasn't anybody else in the picture besides Margaret. There were more side characters involved in Margaret's story than there were in theirs.
That's true. Yeah. In other Emily Henry books, like Book Lovers, for example, like I hated how much time that sister took, like away from like the love story part of it. This book, though, like, well, I know this is kind of getting into the other plot, not just the relationship, but like it was just so much more entertaining. Like Margaret didn't feel like she took away from the story. Well, I mean, kind of for me. because I didn't get much screen time with Hayden and Alice. But I felt like it added something too. It added a lot.
Yeah, it just made it very unique.
Yeah.
As you said in one of our other episodes, like I feel like romance authors are trying something different.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Oh yeah, big time.
And I don't know how I feel about it quite yet. I think I like it. I think.
Yeah, I've liked it thus far.
Mm-hmm.
Remember Emily was saying that she was scared to publish this book because it's unlike anything she's done before.
Mm-hmm.
And it is.
Yeah.
Other than the fact that this is still a like co-worker, like
Yeah.
writer,
Like a workplace,
workplace kind
somewhat
of
book writing, author related. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Like all her books are like workplace rival kind of books.
Which I kind of like.
Yes. And it's always kind of switched up in a little bit, like librarian, and now we have journalism, and then we had authors. So it's always kind of switched up, but
it's definitely, I think, her, I won't say like worst, but it's not, besides people we meet on vacation, it's, I think, her lowest rating.
yeah, I kind of felt bad. I feel bad that like people aren't very accepting of the book because I mean, we'd have to get into all the Margaret stuff for me to like explain my rating.
This is something crazy. Funny Story has over 1 million ratings, and Great Big Beautiful Life so far, I mean, I know it's only been a month, only has 179,000. That means that like there's a tenth of the people that have read this book than there were of Funny Story.
Wow. Interesting. Anyways,
I guess, as you said, there's not a ton to dive into for their relationship because you don't spend a lot of time with them.
Yeah.
And in some cases, I felt like the chapters that we did have like present with them were very rushed, and like pacing was a little weird. Like it would describe things, but you didn't have access to a lot of dialogue. Like we weren't privy to their conversations. It would kind of like skip and say, oh, this is what we did today.
Yeah. And also, they were always doing the same thing. They were always either at a diner working, or
not
they were
a lot of variety.
Yeah, or they were always going on a walk. So it just was kind of
repetitive.
Yeah.
Okay, I see your point.
Yeah. I see your point too. Like, I just think that they were like really good for each other, but I just like
both had mommy issues.
I guess we can get into that too.
Yeah.
That kind of gets it to Margaret. I feel like we should talk about Margaret first and then get back to the mommy issues for both of them.
Because there's kind of like two plot sides.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Margaret then.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh.
She kind of made me mad
at the end. At the end? Yeah.
That kind of really pissed me off.
Yeah, it pissed me off too. That was so dirty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was actually like a really shitty thing to do.
Yeah. That was fucked up.
It was fucked up. Like, and if I were her, I mean, I guess she was mad. She was pretty mad. Because they had that argument at the end, and she kind of yells at Margaret, but she leaves, cries, breaks up with Hayden, and then kind of runs away, right? But I don't know. I would have written her a nasty gram. The letter that she wrote her was like so polite. Yeah. I would have been so mad. I would have like dropped her secret location on the internet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Although I guess I would have gone against her NDA.
Yeah. No, that was seriously so fucked up. Like I didn't see it coming either. I'll be honest. The whole Nicolette side plot, like I didn't see that at all. I did really like Margaret though, like for the beginning. And like I thought her story was so fascinating. Like it kind of I genuinely liked that part of the book. It didn't feel like it made the book boring, which I feel like some people may have been thinking that maybe that was kind of a waste of their time reading
Mm-hmm.
about it. But I loved it. I thought it was all really interesting.
Oh, I did too. I think the only confusing part about it was that there were so many like characters to keep up with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it was just very involved. There was a lot going
Yeah,
on.
there was.
And the spacing between like having to put down the biography and like come back to present tense with Hayden and
yeah.
Alice, that kind of got confusing sometimes. I would have to think like, oh yeah, especially stopping and starting the book. Like,
Yeah.
well, actually, I guess I read it in like literally 24 hours, so never mind.
But
Um,
yeah,
like you had to remember like
things.
10, not 10 chapters, but like several chapters back what was happening.
Yeah. And a lot of the details were like very specific. So like when you got to the point where it was like, "Oh, when was your mother born?" and it was like 1963 or whatever. Me as a reader, I'm like, I have no idea what that means. Like I know Emily probably was wanting people to be like figuring it out with Alice. I'm like, no,
Mm-hmm.
just tell me. I don't know what you mean because I don't remember.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And there was like the whole mystery of like Margaret wasn't always telling the whole truth. And like I I wasn't gonna be able to pick up what was the truth and what wasn't, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Like Alice had to pick up on that and then tell me.
Yeah, I was not smart enough to figure it out on my own.
Yeah.
Uh, I did predict the Cecil thing though.
About it being the dad? Or just like
Yeah.
knowing Margaret.
Um, I didn't because Cecil was like the doctor, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
I just figured that he was involved somehow. I
Mm.
didn't predict how because I don't think anybody could have predicted how he would like
Yeah.
that was wild.
No, I still don't. That man's a doctor. Like,
Yeah.
hello? It doesn't make sense to me.
What was the caretaker's name or like the
Jody?
housekeeping? How was she involved again?
She's a niece. She's
Thank you.
Margaret's niece.
Thank you.
Yeah, what the fuck was that, too?
Yeah.
That felt so. Okay, Jody and Cecil, I'll say really quick, is like who they were, like the doctor and a dad and the niece. I'm like, you don't act like that. Like
No.
their personalities and stuff did not make sense for who they were in the story.
The way they were built into the story made zero sense.
0 sense.
Like yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Their characters just
Like why would
was it meant I think it was probably meant to confuse us so that we didn't see it coming, but then once you figure it out, it doesn't add up.
Yeah. Like Jody was never there like the second like for honestly a majority of the book. But like it's not like did she and her dad hang out? Like where does her dad live? Like why is Jody with Margaret and not her dad?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. One of the reasons why I also knocked off a star for this book was like it didn't feel like closure. I was so confused at the end for things like this, for example.
Yeah, where it didn't feel fully fleshed out.
Yeah, I'm just like that doesn't really match up. Like sure it can add up, but it doesn't match.
Yeah, I will say I don't think this is her best writing.
Yeah.
I remember thinking to myself too, I was like, is that really like what a biography? It's crazy because I don't think I've ever read a biography.
That's what I said. And I said I don't read them unless forced.
Yeah. So in one of my Goodreads status updates, I think I literally wrote, "This is the closest I've ever gotten to reading nonfiction."
Yeah.
And I was like, "Is this how biographies read?"
Yeah.
Like, it did not feel the biography parts of it didn't feel well written. Maybe that's just me.
Yeah.
Like they felt very like I'm talking to you, not. They just didn't feel very professional.
Yeah, I would say that, yeah, they didn't feel professional. The whole
Which
call and response thing.
yeah. I didn't hate the like truth and what her truth. I didn't hate that part, but just the writing of the biography excerpts did not feel professional.
Mm.
Like they felt like they were written like a magazine but at the same time, homegirl ain't ever read a biography in my life.
Me neither. Me neither.
I could be just like overthinking.
To me, it sounded like it was written like a book.
Yeah.
Like a fiction book.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. It seemed
and the
fake.
Quotes and everything. I'm like, how does she remember what she actually said? How can you say that in quotes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think I might need to read a biography. And just see like what's up.
Yeah.
I forgot what we were talking about. Oh, like things not adding up.
Yeah. Jody and Cecil.
They're kind of felt it. I think the best way to put it was that it felt a little bit like plot holes.
Yeah.
Or not fully developed plot lines.
Yeah. Like I would describe it as like Emily had an idea and like she just didn't execute it well.
Yeah.
Like she all along while writing this book, she knew that Jody was going to be the niece and Cecil was going to be the doctor dad. But the execution wasn't smooth. It
wasn't fully developed like on the way there.
Yeah.
Like point A to point Z, you're missing like C and M and like
yes.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I agree. No, as I said, I just don't think it's her best writing. And I'll give her grace. It's not what she's used to doing.
Mm-hmm.
I still liked it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. There was just so much that happened with Margaret. Like, I will say the first part of Margaret's story I thought was kind of boring.
The Lawrence.
Yeah.
Great-grandfather thing. Yeah.
Like, I get how it fits in, but obviously the interesting part was like her sister.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the point of it was just to show like how Margaret's parents got the way that they did.
Yeah.
I
thought Margaret's story started getting like the most interesting when it was her parents.
Exactly.
Yeah, like when they met and stuff.
I
thought Gerald's story was interesting too. And like the Ruth thing. But the Ruth thing just lasted so
long.
No.
Or
it lasted so short.
Remind me, who's Ruth?
The girl, the secret daughter.
Oh, yeah.
Like it was just kind of like dropped.
Yeah, it was there and then
like Ruth never came up again.
Yeah.
Because the only significance really about Ruth was, of course in the family that was a big drop. But the thing that was important to Alice was the Nicolette thing.
Yes.
So it was like said and then it was done.
And
about the whole Nicolette thing, I'm sorry, but like that just didn't pan out for me. Like I understand what Emily was trying to do there, like kind of like sneak in this name that had this meaning where Margaret said like it's that thing you do anything for, the person you do anything for. But it felt so freaking random when it was first mentioned. And then it came to the mosaic and you're like, okay, there's that name again. Like, I guess that's maybe an ode to Ruth or maybe it's an ode to Lawrence or whatever. Like the freaking hotel. Never would I've imagined it was like the name of her daughter or something. Like,
yeah.
It didn't seem, I don't know. I just thought the Nicolette thing was just weird.
It was kind of random.
It was kind of random. Like, I see what she was trying to do there to kind of like drop this seed and like this little like egg,
kind of an Easter egg that was supposed to be like a mystery where you're thinking about it yourself. But you're like, I didn't even know that I was supposed to be thinking about it.
You're like, who's Nicolette? Like, that must be important sometime. But it just didn't pan out like that to me.
Yeah, like in the end, it didn't feel that significant.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand what you're saying. It's not that it wasn't, it just didn't feel that, maybe it was like that it felt cheesy or.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Because she was like, in the earlier on in the book about the hotel thing, she was like, Nicolette is the person you would do anything for. And I'm like,
the one you would give it all up for.
Yeah, and we're like, okay.
And so what?
Like, there's no Nicolette. Like, it was a hotel and it was Ruth, but Ruth is dead. I don't know. So to me, it just ended there.
Yeah.
I wasn't gonna keep thinking like, oh, who's Nicolette? You know, I don't know.
Something that kind of bothered me was throughout the story how Alice keeps like alluding to like the big blow up or like, and we haven't even gotten to the accident yet.
Yeah.
Like, I was like, ugh. Sometimes just like you know that it's going to be in like the last 2 chapters and you're like, I have to read this all to get there.
Yeah.
I feel that way about the book I'm reading right now.
Really?
Like sometimes that tension or like that angst to know what's about to happen or like how it ends is so rewarding.
Mm-hmm.
This one I didn't feel like it was.
Mm.
It was, but I was just kind of frustrated. I was like, oh my gosh, please.
Yeah.
Kind
of got tiring.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
She was an interesting character. I thought she was a little like she was obviously supposed to be this like quirky old woman. She was a lot older than I thought she was.
She was like 67?
No, she was like in her 80s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, I thought
I couldn't keep up with the ages, I'll be honest.
I couldn't either.
Yeah. I think Margaret added a lot to the story, and I still enjoyed her, life story a lot. And I found it interesting, especially when we started to get into the Laura stuff at the end. Like, I didn't see that coming.
Oh, I didn't see that coming at all.
Yeah, so that was kind of freaky.
So sad.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's just very depressing.
Like, and that like happens in real life. Like,
yeah,
it sounded like something you would watch on like a
60 Minutes or something.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Very tragic.
Mm-hmm.
Do you feel like this book was trying to do too much?
Kinda.
I think that's ultimately like why I'm under 4 stars.
Yeah.
I like the idea of having like this half and half, like half romance and half, I don't even know what you would call the other half, like kind of a mystery, like storytelling, a story within a story.
Yeah.
But I feel like it was a little ambitious.
There's just a lot going on. Yeah. Yeah. I'm honestly having trouble articulating all my thoughts about it, I'll be honest.
I agree.
It's just,
it was kind of confusing.
Yeah.
Like my thoughts are confusing.
Yeah. Like while I enjoyed it and enjoy Emily Henry's like writing and storytelling and stuff, it's still, I was like confused about, I don't know, like the baby thing. Like, I'm like, when did she have time to get pregnant? Like, I was confused about the timeline. Like, it's like Emily Henry wanted us to be like solving this mystery alongside her, but I'm like, girl, there's too much going on.
Also, Alice wasn't asking any questions.
Yeah.
So, like, how was Alice supposed to put it together?
Yeah.
How was I supposed to put it together when Alice didn't even ask any questions that would help me get there? The only reason Alice even figured anything out was because of Hayden.
Yeah.
And the picture.
Other than the Nicolette hotel thing, that's what she figured out.
Yeah, until the very end. Yeah.
But how did even Hayden figure out that about Cecil? Like,
we never find out because of the NDA.
Yeah. Ugh.
I will say one thing that I did like about the romance is that the barrier of their relationship, like the conflict, wasn't caused by them.
Yeah.
It wasn't a miscommunication. Like, it wasn't one of them being a baby, like, and scared of their feelings. It was like there's this physical, like, reason why they cannot be together that is totally out of their control. And I kind of liked it.
I liked it too. I thought that was a very unique and well done, like, tension in the relationship. That wasn't annoying as a reader to bear witness to.
I have been so annoyed with like romance relationships recently, like in reading.
Yeah.
because of, like I was telling you about the book of Azrael. Like,
Mm-hmm.
that relationship is so fucking annoying.
Mm-hmm.
But this one, I was like, that makes sense.
That's realistic.
That is realistic. And like,
They're acting like adults.
yeah. What was she gonna do?
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I will say though, in the end, y'all know how I feel about a girl that runs away when shit gets hard. But this was an instance where I'm like, girl literally has nothing else to do.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. It's
Yeah.
like she had to run away.
Yeah.
Like, Margaret was like, you can't tell him.
Yeah.
I will sue the hell out of you if
Mhm.
you tell him, and it won't end well for you. Like, I'm not going to let you do this.
Yeah.
What was she supposed to do?
Mhm.
You know?
I think she maybe could have like articulated it better
To
of, like,
Hayden.
yeah, being like I don't even know how she would have been able to say it. So maybe I need to shut my mouth because I'm blanking. But
She did say, like, I can't tell you.
yeah,
Which I think that alludes to, like, it's not that I don't want to tell you, it's that I physically,
Yeah.
like, cannot.
yeah. She was like, "Stop asking me these questions because I cannot give you an answer."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
I kind of wish we had gotten, like, a POV from him
Mhm.
in that, like, break.
Yeah.
How long was it? Like, a month or?
Yeah, like 2 months or something.
Yeah. Honestly,
Oh,
it
a
could have been
month.
longer. Because she, like, works remote for a while.
Definitely a month minimum at least.
Yeah. I thought her relationship with her parents was very interesting. Like, she had all of these, like, warm and emotions towards her dad, but it kind of seems like she didn't like her mom that much,
Yeah.
you know?
She was like forcing herself to like her mom.
Yeah. Yeah. I kind of felt like that was an unnecessary plot point, was like her trying to prove herself to her mom,
Mm-hmm.
half baked,
Mm-hmm.
you know?
And that never really panned out either.
Yeah, she ends up standing up for herself, which
Mm-hmm.
is great. And her mom and her, like, start to have this different relationship that they're both comfortable, or like they're both trying to form something new in Alice's adult life that works for both of them,
Mm-hmm.
because her mom kind of seems to be not a very touchy-feely type of woman.
Yeah.
And the fact that they were hippies also kind of made me laugh.
They met at like a farmer's compound. What the heck? Ah, that was funny.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know. In the end, when she's like deciding to write like a biography about like her parents, I thought that was sweet and all, but I'm also kind of like, okay, girl. You know, have you ever read like a romance book where like the girl has to quit her job in the end? She just like goes and wherever the guy goes. That's where I felt like this was.
Yeah, like she
just
gave
like
up her career
she gave
for
up like her entire life, and like now it's like, what are you even doing? She's just writing a book about her mom that's never gonna sell. Which I know the whole point of the book was like, you're writing for you, not for other people. Like, as Hayden tried to, say, but I was kind of like, okay.
Yeah.
It
wasn't satisfying.
The book I'm thinking of that made is freaking, what's it? Her other book, Happy Place, where she quits been going to med school, and now it's like, you're gonna go work at a furniture store with your new boyfriend. Like, what are you gonna do with your life?
Mm-hmm.
I felt a little bit like that with this book.
She had no plan.
Yeah.
Oh, it is so funny that you mentioned that, because I just read a book that's the exact opposite, and it was so satisfying.
Pray tell. What is it?
It was This Summer Will Be Different by Carley Fortune. I think you should read it. I really,
yeah.
Maybe after you finish Problematic Summer Romance.
Yeah.
It was very satisfying.
Good. I could use some of that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think honestly, maybe as I'm talking about this book, I'm liking it a little less.
Me too.
Which is sad.
I want to like it so much because
it's Emily Henry.
Well, just because she went out of the box and like she did something new for herself, and I want to like support her and give her my 4 stars. But it's also like, yeah,
Just
like
wasn't my
it
favorite.
wasn't my favorite. Like
Yeah.
it just felt like it was in the end felt like it was missing so much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like I didn't get closure on Margaret's story or Alice and Hayden's.
Mm-hmm. I really want to read Seven Husbands now because I want to like compare it to something.
Yeah.
Because people love that book so much. And I know that
Mhm.
it's like a very similar like story within a story.
Mhm.
And I don't know for sure, but because I've never read it and I honestly don't really know what it's about other than it's inspired by the Beatles. No, Fleetwood Mac, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't
Or
know it was
no.
inspired by
No,
somebody.
wait, that's Daisy Jones and the Six.
Oh.
I'm thinking of the wrong book.
Oh.
Sorry.
That's okay.
Sorry. Um, but it's very similar. And I want to know if there's like a romance component to that book because
Oh.
I want to see if like maybe if Emily Henry had literally just done the Margaret side of things, if I would have liked it more.
Mhm.
You know, if it hadn't focused so much on, or no, I mean, not focused so much, but if there wasn't, like, as I said, it feels like it maybe was trying to do too much.
Yeah. Cuz you were reading like 2 love stories. That's how I explained it in my
Mm-hmm.
book review. It's like because you're reading 2, which was very unique and cool, and I liked both of those stories, you weren't going to get something very fruitful because they're sharing screen time. I
Mm-hmm.
keep saying screen time, but that's like the only way I can think to
Yeah.
describe it. So, where one gains, one has to lose, you know? So, they weren't fully well thought out, good closure
Mm-hmm.
stories.
Yeah. I honestly, now that I'm thinking about it, I was much more invested in Margaret's story than I was
Yeah,
in Allison Hayden's.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you're right. You're
And
totally right.
yeah, and maybe it's because there was more drama and like gossip,
Mm-hmm. The tea.
but like that's just how it was.
Mm-hmm.
So I was gonna find it more interesting.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm thinking about it and
I might have
I'm
to
less
lower
than
it to 3 stars.
I'm feeling less enthusiastic about it than I was originally.
Yeah.
I do appreciate that Emily Henry was trying something new though.
Yes.
And
Props to that.
I think I just really like what she was already doing though.
I think she'll probably, go back to
Mhm.
that. Like, this is her branching out. Doesn't mean that she's totally straying off onto a new
Mhm.
path.
But I
And
also feel like she could learn, not like learn a lot, but she could grow.
yeah,
Like if she tried this again, I bet it would be different in a good way.
yeah. I still like it, like in my head. Like, I wouldn't say that, like, but like, if we go back to like our rating scale, I would say, like, this is a book I enjoyed, but I wouldn't like recommend it to people.
Mm-mm.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
exactly.
So, like, this is like a true 3 stars.
Agreed.
So,
Agreed. You haven't read People We Meet on Vacation, right? I would like
that's
you
the
to
only
read
one I
that
haven't read.
because I was like ranking the order of in my head of Emily Henry books, and currently the way I have it, or I had it before this episode, was funny story, beach read, book lovers, great big beautiful life, happy place. No, sorry, People We Meet on Vacation, and then happy place.
Mm-hmm.
But now I'm like, I kind of want to reread People We Meet on Vacation and see if I like it better than this book because I feel like it might be a toss up.
Yeah.
I don't, it's been a while since I read that book though.
My rating would be the exact same, but I haven't read People We Meet on Vacation.
Yeah.
So,
Beach Read is just so good, honestly. Yeah. Unfortunate. Yeah, I still liked it, but it's not something I'm like screaming about.
yeah,
I did cry though.
you did.
I think so. I'm gonna double check because I don't want to like say that I didn't. I've been highlighting in books literally just like a word where I cried. Um, she's talking about how she has like that group chat with her family, but her dad is still in it.
Yeah.
She says, someday I know it will be reassigned to someone new and we'll have to take him off the chat, but so far none of us has. That made me cry.
Yeah, that was very sad.
I was like, imagine if that was like one of your own parents.
Yeah.
That was just,
And then she texts her dad's number.
oh gosh.
Yeah.
It's just gonna make me cry even thinking about it.
Like, I feel like her dad was like a significant part of the plot, but like it wasn't really gone into much. Like, you didn't really know
Yeah.
who the dad was.
You didn't know much about him except for the fact that he liked his music.
Yeah.
And they
Was
played
a
their
farmer.
record. Yeah. They played their record player.
Yeah.
Wasn't he also a writer? He was, wait,
Yeah.
weren't both of her parents were journalists, right?
Not the mom.
Not the mom. What did she do? I forget.
I think she just was a homemaker. Like, I think she just did her farming. But yeah. One last thing that I think we need to get into is what the fuck does a great big beautiful life mean? Because she said that at the end of the book, and I'm like, girl, I don't get it. The way she worded it, I'm like, that sentence doesn't make sense.
I'm gonna reread it.
Yeah, please do.
The good and bad, the magic and curses, all the blues and grays right alongside the reds and golds. I tell her the story about a love so powerful it remade the world for her. I welcome her to this great big beautiful life. She's talking about
Her daughter.
her daughter.
I don't know. That was trying too hard. IMO.
I think it would have been made sense if it was mentioned like somewhere else, like if Margaret had said it.
Yeah.
And like that really resonated with Alice.
Yeah.
If Margaret had said it and Alice was like, oh, that like really hit her deep, and it's something that she felt like she wanted to carry that with her in her life, like that she admired and respected and liked that, that would have made me feel a little bit more like, oh, that is a closure moment, like way to end the last sentence of the book.
Yeah. And in my opinion, nothing about Margaret's life was great, big, beautiful. Like, her life sucked. Like, right up until the end.
The only thing that was great, big, beautiful about it was that she was an heiress.
Yeah, literally. Like, she was so lonely for decades and decades of her life. Like, so if the moral of the story was like, you can turn something bad into something good, like, you can make it a great big beautiful life.
No, she literally spent 20 years as a recluse. Like, she wasn't even living at that point.
20 plus. Like,
yeah.
So that was Alice's own, thoughts and feelings about it. Margaret would not have agreed with that. I think.
I agree.
So
I think Margaret lived with a lot of regret.
Yeah. So I don't think it really fit the whole entire theme of the book.
Yeah, honestly, that is going to be my Goodreads review because I haven't written it yet. This book was just trying to do too much.
Yeah.
There's too much going on. I think the redeeming factor for me is Margaret's story. Like, that was the most interesting. Even if it was a little bit frustrating trying to puzzle piece it together myself, like, I still enjoyed that the most out of everything.
Yeah.
Huh.
It flowed very nicely too. Despite, like you said, having to put that story down to pick up Alice and Hayden's. Like, I still think that it flowed very nicely.
Yeah. I guess one thing about their relationship that we didn't touch on was I really liked their first kiss.
Yeah.
It was kind of cute.
Yeah.
Felt like Sparks Fly by Taylor Swift. I don't know. I thought it was sweet.
Yeah.
The way she described it.
Yeah, I liked the way she described like her crush on him. Like, I thought that was very sweet. But all along I kind of was like, do you really know him? Like, what do you know about each other? I don't know.
I did like the letter thing too. How she wrote Margaret the letter and said, like, I love him. Like, don't make me keep this from him, please.
Yeah, like, I have a personal stake in this.
Yeah. And then he shows up with the letter and he was like, did you mean it?
Yeah.
I like that. I like romantic gestures.
Hayden was kind of a romantic.
Yeah, he kind of was.
I liked it.
I like that about him. Even though he was like, we shouldn't get involved because like this is only gonna hurt. I wonder why Hayden didn't tell her sooner that he had been like asked to go there.
Yeah.
Like instead he just kept saying like, you're not going to get this job, you're not going to get this job. Like, why he didn't tell her sooner. Am I crazy, or was this kind of a closed door?
It kind of was.
That was very, I noticed that.
Yeah.
I didn't hate it. I was like, wow, that didn't feel as open as some of her other books, for sure.
Totally agree.
I kind of liked that, actually. Overall, very different from her typical.
I'm kind of out of words.
Yeah.
I feel like I've digested what I could. There's not like a whole lot of meat here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
As I always say, romance doesn't really give you a whole lot to work with. So.
Yeah, agreed.
There's not a whole lot of layers to it.
I also feel like our past couple of like book review episodes have been just so crazy. That like, I'm like, wow, this is like, we aren't even talking about anything. But then I'm like, we're not on Mars. Like,
we're not on Mars.
We're not on Mars trying to figure out what was it? A ripwing? Is that?
Oh yeah, ripwing.
Yeah. Nolan and I listened to that part of the episode together, and he was like, this is really embarrassing for you. Because he was like, you don't know like anything Star Wars or like space related. He was like,
for you?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah. He was like, that's really sad that you literally can't imagine any of it because you don't know how to imagine space because you've never done anything sci-fi. And then he was like, the fact that he thought my reference to Star Wars Battlefront was really cute too. But he was like, wow, Hannah has a really big leg up on you for this.
Leg up on you. Well, if you guys are wanting to switch up your palette and not read romance after a book like this, if you agreed with our sentiments, that is, you can go watch our Red Rising episodes and tune in on those.
Or if you're a romance girly through and through, romance individual, we've done 2 other romance episodes. We did The Right Move by Liz Tom Ford in March, and then we did Deep End by Ali Hazelwood back in February. And we did Say You'll Remember Me in April. Lots of other content for you. But yeah, I kind of don't have anything else to say about this one.
Me neither. We can
wrap her up. Thanks for joining us again this week. We hope to see you again. I'm Madeline Bookout.
And I'm Hannah Bookout. And thanks for coming for another week on our bookish podcast here where we talk fantasy and romance. If you want more content, follow us on Instagram or TikTok. We'd love to talk to you guys on there too.
Yeah, we hit a milestone this week.
We did.
We got to 1,000 followers on TikTok, and that was pretty cool.
That's so fun.
That was fun. The fact that we got like 400 in the past, it's been probably 3 months. Yeah, I started posting early March on it, so that's just really cool.
Yeah.
Next week we are doing, I guess we forgot to say that we switched up this week. We were supposed to do Bookish PowerPoint tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry about that. We had some scheduling conflicts in travel situation, but Jamie, we're so excited for you to join us. We are doing a Bookish PowerPoint next week, whatever that ends up looking like. We have some configurations to figure out before that happens, but we're really excited. That's going to be just a very fun and relaxing episode. And we're looking forward to it. I want to announce what is releasing today. I know for sure that Problematic Summer Romance came out today. Wait, is that today or was that last week?
That was today.
It was today?
Yeah. which I'm already reading.
Hannah's
Can't wait to talk to you guys about it.
Hannah's already halfway through almost.
I'm eating it up, y'all.
Yeah.
I'm eating it up.
There's Allie Hazelwood's putting something in the water.
Yeah.
Like, that's all I gotta say.
I'm sorry, but maybe this is like an Allie Hazelwood year. I'm sorry.
It may be.
Sorry.
She's, wow, 3 books in 1 year?
Yeah, she's crazy. She's
Dude.
crazy.
What's she eating? Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
Another book that came out today is It's a Love Story by Annabelle Monaghan, she's a romance author as well.
Sweet.
She writes cutie little summer romances, so.
Yeah. Summer is romance season.
It is.
I've been saying this. These books are so good right now.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
I know. I'm reading a lot of summery romances right now. But
happy release days to Allie and Annabelle.
Happy release days. We're excited for you.
Yeah. And we will see you guys next Tuesday.
Bye.
Thanks.